Most people wake up the same way. Before they've even opened their eyes, they are already thinking about everything waiting for them. They are already thinking about bills, emails, and deadlines. They are thinking about that conversation they keep replaying from yesterday. Their mind goes to work before their body even has a chance to catch up. It's almost automatic. You reach your phone and check what happened while you are asleep. And within a few minutes, your mood is no longer yours. Notifications pull you in one direction, other people's opinions pull you in another, and before anything has even gone wrong today, your mind is already bracing for things that might. The Stoics noticed this long before smartphones existed. They understood that the first moments after waking up weren't just another part of the day. They were the moment when the mind was most open to direction, or most vulnerable to distraction. If you don't decide where your attention goes first, something else will. That's why they treated the morning almost like training. Before dealing with the world, they learned to deal with themselves. And they do not do this with complicated routines or with perfect morning routines. They just did this with a few simple reminders. Today, I want to share those reminders with you. I want to share 5 simple truths you can tell yourself every morning. They don't magically remove problems, but they change the way you meet them. And sometimes, that's the difference between feeling like life is happening to you and realizing that you are still the one holding the steering wheel. The first thing you can do every morning is to remind yourself that you are just grateful to be here. It sounds almost too ordinary. You've probably heard people talk about gratitude so many times that the word is starting to lose its weight. It gets thrown around so often that it's easy to mistake it for another piece of feel-good advice. But that is not how the Stoics saw it. For them, gratitude wasn't about pretending that life was perfect. It was about remembering something most people forget, which is that nothing about today was guaranteed. Last night, we went to sleep expecting another morning because that's what usually happens. But life has never made that promise to anyone. Every sunrise is received, not earned. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself of this often. Before he thought about ruling an empire or solving problems, he reminded himself what a privilege it was to wake up, to breathe, to think, to love, and to experience another ordinary day. He didn't remind himself about things such as achievements. He didn't say that it was a privilege to win, to succeed, to be admired. He just started with being alive. And there's something grounding about that. Because once you truly understand how fragile life is, your attention starts to shift. The traffic doesn't seem quite as important. The email loses its power. Even the problems you are carrying, they begin to feel lighter. Not because they've disappeared, but because they're stopping the only thing that you can see. Most of us spend our days chasing something. We spend our days chasing a promotion, we're chasing more money, chasing more recognition. We keep telling ourselves that peace is waiting somewhere further ahead. Then we get there, and when we get there, we always find another finish line. It's an endless race. Gratitude quietly interrupts that cycle. It reminds you that before you chase another goal, there's already something worth noticing. And that thing is this breath, this morning, this chance to begin again. Psychologists have spent years studying gratitude. The findings keep pointing to the same direction. The people who practice it constantly tend to sleep better. They recover from stress more easily, and they report greater overall well-being. Not because they have easier lives, but because they pay attention differently. 2 people can walk through the exact same day, and one person only sees inconvenience, and the other person notices opportunities hidden inside those ordinary moments. The world hasn't changed, their focus has. Gratitude is just about you training your mind to notice what is already there. Before your feet touch the floor tomorrow morning, try something simple. Don't reach for your phone. Take 30 seconds before anything else competes for your attention. Sit still for a moment before the noise starts. Let your head circle. Then say to yourself, I'm grateful to be here. That's what Marcus Aurelius was already doing every morning. Not to feel better, but to remember what mattered. Before the day set the agenda, you are deciding what's important before anything else tries to decide for you. Don't say it because everything is going well. Say it because you are still here. You still have another conversation to have, another mistake to correct, another chance to become a little wiser than you were yesterday. And that's enough. Socrates believed that an unexamined life wasn't worth living. Maybe part of examining life isn't about asking bigger questions all the time. Maybe it's learning to notice what's already in front of you. A warm cup of coffee before the house wakes up. The morning light that comes through the window. The silence that exists for just a few moments before the day fills with noise. Those things are easy to overlook because they happen every day, until one day they don't. That's why gratitude isn't passive. It's a way of returning to the present before your mind drifts somewhere else. And once you begin your morning from that place, something changes. You stop starting the day feeling behind. Instead of immediately reacting, you begin by remembering who you want to be. That small shift carries further than most people realize, because the way you begin your morning often becomes the way you meet the rest of the day. And that brings us to our second reminder. It's one that almost everyone struggles with, whether they realize it or not. Yesterday has a strange way of following us into today. Sometimes it's obvious. You replay the meeting where you froze, the argument that got out of hand, the opportunity you missed just because you hesitated for just a little too long. Other times, it's much quieter. It's the sarcastic comment that someone made that stayed in your head the whole evening. It's the message that never got a reply. By the time the morning arrives, you are carrying things that do not belong to today. It's like walking into a new day with yesterday straight across your shoulders. After a while, you stop noticing the weight. You just assume that that's what mornings are supposed to feel like. The Stoics challenge that idea. They believe that they passed at one job, and that job is to teach you. And once it had done that, it was time to let go. Our minds don't naturally move on. They replay, they write conversations, they imagine different outcomes. They convince us that if you think about something long enough, we'll somehow change what happened. But no amount of replaying changes what's already done. The only thing still alive is what you keep telling yourself about it. That's why you should always remind yourself, yesterday doesn't own you. And that doesn't mean that you must pretend that nothing happened. It doesn't mean you must ignore mistakes or refuse to learn from them. If you handle something badly, own it. If you hurt someone, apologize. Carl Jung once wrote, I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become. There's a quiet freedom in that sentence. What happened yesterday may explain why you feel the way you do. It doesn't get to decide who you become next. That decision still belongs to you. Think about how often people introduce themselves through all failures. I'm terrible with money. I always mess things up. I've never been confident. Those don't stay observations for very long. They become identities. And once something becomes part of your identity, you stop questioning it. You simply live inside it. The Stoics refuse to do that. Epictetus reminded his students that what matters isn't the event itself, but the response that follows. A difficulty isn't what your identity. An embarrassing mistake isn't your identity. Even failure isn't your identity. It's an experience, nothing more. Imagine opening a brand new notebook. Imagine every page is blank. Now imagine spending the first half of every page writing what was on the last one. Eventually, there isn't any room left for something new. That's what happens when we refuse to leave yesterday where it belongs. It keeps writing the same chapter over and over again. And then we wonder why our lives never seem to move forward. Before you get out of bed tomorrow, try a small exercise. Think about whatever you're still carrying from yesterday. Name it. Then ask yourself one question. Is there anything I can actually do about this? If yes, deal with it today. If no, then holding on into it doesn't solve anything. It just makes today harder for no reason. This is the Stoic idea and practice. Put your energy into what you can still change. What is already done is off that list. Carrying it forward doesn't fix it. It just costs you today too. Do it every morning. Not because yesterday will disappear, but because today deserves your full attention. We often think about habits as things like exercising or reading more, but letting go can become a habit too. So can forgiving yourself. So can beginning again. The more you practice it, the quicker you recover from disappointment. You stop living like every mistake is permanent. You become someone who learns quickly. You become someone who adjusts quickly and moves forward without carrying unnecessary weight. And that's an underrated kind of strength. Not never falling, recovering faster every time you do. And once you put yesterday down, there's one more challenge waiting for you. Even if the past no longer controls you, your mind still can. You've probably noticed how quickly it happens. You wake up feeling fine, then one thought appears. It reminds you of something you need to do. That thought leads to another, then another. Within minutes, you are planning next week, worrying about something that hasn't happened yet. You are replaying conversations from yesterday, comparing yourself to someone else, and imagining all the problems that never existed. Nothing outside you has changed. You are still in the same bed, but inside your head, you've already traveled 100 miles. Marcus Aurelius understood this battle well. He spent his life surrounded by wars, politics, betrayal, and uncertainty. Yet he kept returning to one simple truth, which is that you have power over your mind, not outside events. That isn't a comforting quote. It's a responsibility because it removes one of our favorite excuses. If your peace depends on everything outside you behaving perfectly, you spend your whole life waiting. There'll always be another delay, another rude person, another unexpected problem, another headline trying to pull your attention away. The world has never promised to become quieter. Your mind has to learn how. That's why you have to remind yourself that I can control my mind. Notice the wording. Not I control everything, just your mind, and that's enough. Carl Jung once said that the person who looks inward awakens. Most people spend almost every waking hour looking outward. They spend every waking hour looking at who's ahead, who's behind, what people are saying, what's happening next. Very few people spend even 60 quiet seconds watching what's happening inside themselves. Yet that's where nearly every decision begins. Here's something you can replace tomorrow morning. Before you check your phone, before you turn on TV, before you speak to anyone, give yourself 1 minute. Sit where you are. Thoughts will arrive, things you have to do, things you're worried about. Yesterday making another appearance. Let them come. You are not trying to clear your head, that's not the point. The point is to notice what your mind does when you don't immediately react to it. A worried thought is just a thought. An anxious feeling is just a feeling. They show up on their own. What you do with them is your call. There's space between what arrives in your mind and what you do about it. The Stoics spend their entire lives protecting that space because inside it lives freedom. You are not every thought that arrives. You are the one who decides what to do with them. Modern neuroscience points to the same direction. The brain changes according to what we repeatedly practice. Spend every morning reacting to stress, comparison, and endless scrolling. Your brain becomes better at fighting more stress. Spend every morning sitting with your thoughts and for a moment before reacting to them, and your brain becomes better at staying calm under pressure. The mind is always training. The question is, what are you training it to do? Aristotle famously said that we become what we repeatedly do. Mental strength works in the same way. It isn't built in one perfect morning. It is built through hundreds of ordinary mornings. It is built through one quiet decision at a time. There will be days when your thoughts race ahead of you, days when anxiety wins, days when you forget everything we've talked about. That doesn't mean you failed. The Stoics never expected perfection. the expected awareness. The goal isn't to never lose your balance, it's to notice sooner when you have, and to come back again and again. And every time you return, you are strengthening one habit that matters most. The habit of remembering that your mind belongs to you, not to yesterday, not to tomorrow, not to the noise of the world.